90,000 people packing a stadium for a football match is a common sight in Europe. But these fans didn't show up for a men's Champions League final. They are here to watch a women's match. Look closely at the stands, and you'll notice highly specific behaviors. Entire sections of the crowd lift color-coded tifos, spelling out more than empowerment. The songs echoing around the bowl are sung entirely in Catalan. Top-tier men's football has largely evolved into a detached, highly commercial affair. This environment is the extreme opposite. It's a raw, communal display of regional identity that feels like a political rally masquerading as a sporting event. This political undertone is an intentional, built-in feature of the organization. Woven directly into the seats of Camp Nou is the phrase "Més que un club," more than a club. For FC Barcelona, this is a literal operational mandate. To understand why a modern sports stadium acts as a political megaphone, we have to look back at the darkest era of Spanish history. Long before this women's team took the pitch, this club survived by turning a simple game into an ideological proxy war. In 1939, the Spanish Civil War ended, leaving the country in ruins and firmly under the thumb of an authoritarian dictatorship. Franco imposed extreme centralist policies to erase all regional identities. He outlawed the Catalan language, banned regional flags, and made any public display of non-Castilian culture a punishable offense. Following World War II, Franco's regime found itself globally isolated. To survive politically, the state needed a vehicle to project an image of a prosperous, unified, and victorious Spain to the rest of Europe. They found their perfect ambassador in Real Madrid. The club was situated directly in the center of the nation's capital, perfectly aligning it with the centralized Castilian state. Real Madrid dominated the continent, winning 6 European Cups. Through these high-profile athletic victories, the team built highly valuable diplomatic bridges for an otherwise shunned government. The government ensured the success by reaching directly into the sport. Opposing teams documented severe referee favoritism, and state authorities even intervened in the transfer of global superstar Alfredo Di Stefano, ensuring he wore the white kit of Madrid. Athletic dominance was weaponized. By showcasing a winning football team, the state successfully masked the brutal realities of a fascist dictatorship and presented an acceptable, glamorous face to the international community. Meanwhile, in Catalonia, strict bans on political dissent meant that any formal regional resistance movement was immediately crushed. The fight for Catalan culture had to go underground. Camp Nou effectively became the disarmed army of Catalonia. It was the only public space in the entire region large enough to host a mass gathering without triggering an immediate military reprisal. Inside those walls, citizens committed subversive acts that would lead to imprisonment on the street. They spoke the banned Catalan language and violently booed Real Madrid, the embodiment of the regime. Why would a highly oppressive dictator consciously allow a massive display of rebellion to take place every single Sunday? The regime recognized the stadium as a necessary release valve. Letting citizens direct their intense political rage at a referee and an opposing football team kept them from rioting in the city streets. This survival dynamic calcified the identities of both clubs. One was forced into the role of the sword of the centralist state, while the other became the shield of regional resistance. Today, Spain is a modern democracy. The dictator is long gone. Yet, the sociological fault lines drawn during that era remain completely intact. This diagram maps fan affiliations onto a political spectrum, left to right, regionalist to centralist. FC Barcelona supporters show a massive correlation, clustering overwhelmingly around left-wing politics and Catalan independence. Conversely, Real Madrid fans dominate the exact opposite quadrant, clustering tightly around conservative, centralist nationalism. El Clásico operates as an unbroken, century-long polling mechanism for Spain's political soul, which brings us back to those massive crowds at the FC Barcelona Femení match. As top-tier men's football has become increasingly dictated by global commercial interests, the Catalan region has actively transferred its revolutionary spirit over to the women's team. These women actively embrace their role as the modern patron saints of the region. They conduct press conferences in Catalan, communicate in it on the pitch, and loudly embody Catalonia's distinct identity to the rest of the world. When Real Madrid and FC Barcelona step onto the pitch today, They are validating a century of cultural history. In Spain, the final score is secondary to the political statement being made in the stand.